Hey, it's Cody from Tarot Readings from a Bitch, and I figured I'd just hop on here. I'm a few days late, but fuck it. Um, to talk a little bit about decks I'm planning on working with in October. I've also got a couple books. I'll just stick those in at the end. A couple of them are kind of witchcrafty, and some of them are not. And I guess it's probably time to unveil the fact that I'm super annoying. Mixing my tarot practice with fiction that I'm currently reading, so stick around for that if you want to hear that. But first up, I'm going to do decks. So for October, I tend to put away the sillier decks that I start using usually in September. I mean, even in August, I start, getting excited for fall. Ooh, Samhain's coming and all that shit. But, like, once it's actually here, and it's October, and plants outside are dying and shit, I tend to pull out more serious, withdrawn sort of energy decks. So this is probably the silliest one that I'll be touching this month. And this is the Seasons of the Witch, Samhain Oracle. I don't think anyone's surprised to see this on anyone's list. This is illustrated by, I think it's Giada Rose, and it's by Lorraine Anderson and Juliette Diaz. I just got the box so that we'd all be on the same page of what I'm talking about. I actually keep it in this little box. This is like one of those, I don't know, little craft boxes from like Michael's or something that I sanded. I made my husband like stain it, and then I proceeded to stack other shit on top of it so it looks like that, but you know. So I've got all three of these Seasons of the Witch Oracle decks. There's the Samhain ones, this one, there's a Yule one, and there's also a spring one. I don't remember, but whenever the season is right, I just keep it in here. I put like sticky felt in here. And I literally did not measure. For some reason, I have just this hatred of fucking measuring shit, so I just, like, eyeball everything, so looking good in there. So, here's the deck. I'm just gonna look at this one quick. You have probably already seen it. Also, this is the box that I also keep my, Sabbath cards, from Black and the Moon. These go with, the Memento Mori Oracle. These are Patreon cards that you get if you are signed up for the Patreon. At certain times they're sent out. So if you're not signed up for Black and the Moon's Patreon, allow me to recommend that, because I don't know how many, I should probably go through and count, but I have a lot of cards. They'll just say Patreon down here at the bottom that you're not going to be able to buy except getting them off of her Patreon. Alright, to the Seasons of the Witch, Samhain Oracle. Here's the guidebook. I'm a fan of the guidebook. It's got a lot going on in it. Crystals and herbs for Samhain. There's a lot of just little spells and extra info and stuff you can do in here. I don't know how you feel about these red edges. I've had this for, I think this is my 3rd year using it. I don't know why it won't, like, show that nicely. But it's actually coming off. I don't know if it's just the quality of it, but also I think I'm really kind of hard on decks. I feel like the art, okay, the art specifically is really, it feels like Samhain to me. It's not as, I don't even know, just silly and monstery as some decks that tend to come out around this time of year. Not that there's anything wrong with those. Those just I tend to just use earlier in the fall than actually around Samhain. So, my love for the artwork being said, and I also like the guidebook. The thing that I have, the only issue that I have with this deck is these little fucking poems. They don't always make sense. And the misuse of the fucking word thou kills me. Like, I have had to teach myself to look at these cards and like make myself not look at this. I've considered just cutting these off, but like it's gonna fuck up the back. I don't know. The newer two for the other sabots aren't as bad, but this one is really fucking something. Alright, so that was the first deck, the silliest. Also, this is a little ghosty doily that I crocheted a couple years ago. Not only do I refuse to measure things, I also refuse to block things, so it's like kind of wiggly. I don't remember what this pattern's called, if anyone wants to know. I found it on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. It looks just like this, like the pattern pictures, except like it's blocked, you know, so sorry I don't have better info for that. Alright, so the next deck, you guys are going to start fucking hating this YouTube channel. If you watch like more than 2 of my videos, you're going to realize that you're probably going to end up having to look at the fucking Memento Mori Oracle by Claire Goodchild of Black and the Moon every single time. Like, I don't put this deck away, but it really, it ramps up around this time of year for spirit work, for me personally. Yeah. I finally did go through this and took out the old cards and put the new ones in after I had gotten kind of a newer copy of it. So yeah, I did that. I'm not going to make you look at that forever either, because you'll keep saying it until you'll fucking know every card by heart on this channel, so sorry about that. Alright, next, this is the Soul Cards by Deborah Koff Chapin? I probably just completely said that wrong. But this is a Soul Cards 1. There was a second one, like, I don't know, it's kind of an addition, I guess, to this. You may have seen these before from other people, because they're just such a fantastic tool, a fantastic resource for just a lot of inner work, anything intuitive. These cards have illustrations and absolutely no meanings whatsoever. There's a little booklet with it, but it's certainly not a guidebook. The point of these cards is that you have to pull your own meaning out of them. I love this deck for this. Sometimes I kind of try similar things with other decks, but like since there's usually a meaning or a title or some kind of direction or, you know, intention that the artist put with it, I always feel like guilty ignoring that, sort of, or something. I don't know. But this one, I'm just completely free to, you know, imagine whatever it is that it means to me, and I could look at this card 2 days in a row, say, and see something totally different in it. So it's very flexible, it's fluid. I wish that I had actually had this deck a lot earlier in my practice. I feel like this would have freed me from a lot of feeling like I had to go with, you know, guidebook meanings, stay within pre-established meanings of cards and things. And I wish I had done this sooner. It would have really given me practice, and it would have just, I don't know, let me feel like I could walk out of that little cage that I'd made for myself on being right or wrong a lot sooner. So if you don't have this deck, there's also Soul Cards too. I do at some point plan on getting that one too. I would just mix them together. I think everyone does. But this one, I just tend to use more again this time of year. It's a lot about inner work. For me, a lot of shadow work kind of stuff. Around this time, that's what I start doing, you know, the inner work kind of stuff. And I feel like this is just the perfect companion for that type of work. So Soul Cards always come out this time of year since I've had them. Honestly, just looking through them, I can't believe it's really... I have owned this for so long and still... Jesus. don't have the second, like, half of it. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Alright, the next deck. This is an indie deck. This is called The Heroine's Journey Oracle. This is by Izzy Nance. It had a Kickstarter at one point. This deck actually has I think it's a novella currently being written that the cards kind of follow along with the story. The cards actually came first. But I think that the story itself that they go with was much more, I mean, it was already being created. So the deck is, I don't know, I feel like it's really gonna dive in deeper more, once the novella comes out. I'll put a link to the website. I don't think this is even available right at this minute, but I will show you it a little bit. It's the Heroine's Journey Oracle. It has a lot, I think, to do with growing up in more of a feminine way than, the hero's journey. It's not necessarily, alright, we got the hero's journey and Joseph Campbell, and then I don't remember the lady's name that came up with the heroine's journey, which kind of follows a similar idea. I don't want to get into all that right now, but the point is, this doesn't exactly follow that either. Let me just show you the cards. Okay, so in here there are 3 suits. There's flowers, there's teeth, and I think stones. I did not grab the guidebook for this. But all of that rambling to say, this has a lot to do with not necessarily inner child work, I wouldn't say, but themes of healing childhood sorts of wounds. Right here we've got sovereignty. The shade. There's gratitude. Disintegration. Oh, there's one of the stones. Oh, there's the one of flowers. 2 of stones. Okay, the call. So if you know about like Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, there's the call, there's the refusal of the call. So some of those do show up in here. All right, here's innocence. Grief. Awareness. There's actually like human hands hanging from this tree. Teeth, flowers, a tombstone. Okay, the sisters. Here we've got 2, golden glowing birds, like little mini suns in a wintry landscape, right? So it's, again, I have to kind of stick my own associations with some of this, but it really just feels like having that sisterhood kind of feeling can feel like some warmth in the cold, right? Here's a guide. Love this guy. Trying to find some of the ones that aren't, right, here's retribution. Fear. Sistrum. Transformation. 4 of stones. The labyrinth. The olive tree. Rescue. I actually fucking hate this card. It makes me think of Artax from the Neverending Story, and it makes me want to barf. This is like dragging up childhood trauma rather than helping me work through it. So, the grandmother, I think, is my very favorite card. Like, just look at her. Refuge. The future. The cave. Right? Entering the underworld. Shame. The challenge. Vision. I've had this deck for a while. I've been working with it. I kind of feel weird sometimes about it because I feel like I don't really fully understand where this deck is coming from. So instead I'm just making up my own shit about it. So like when the novella actually comes out, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Anyway, yeah, that was the Heroine's Journey Oracle by Izzy Nance. And I'll put a link to her website in the description box. All right, my next deck is this is the Margaret Peterson Tarot. I've had this deck for a while, and I will admit, I spent quite a while afraid to use it. I don't know why. It felt very big and serious to me in a way that I felt like I was not ready to approach. This kind of gives me a similar feeling to the Mary L. Tarot. I don't know why, but it kind of has that. It just has a similar energy to me. But lately I've been thinking a lot about this deck. I pull it out. I actually get this deck out quite often, and I just look at it. And for some reason I keep deciding that I am not prepared to approach whatever's going on with this. Until just recently. It was actually, shit, I don't remember what card it actually was, but one of them I looked at, I was like, wait a minute, I get this. I understand what it's trying to say, and I feel like it was my first moment of connection with this deck. I want to connect with this deck. I've spent like 2 years being like, hell yeah, Margaret Peterson Tarot. So I feel like it's time. I mean, I'd like to work with it some, try it with some spreads. Probably just, some simple shit. I don't want to get too wild with it. I have seen there's like a 25th anniversary edition or something of this deck that came out. And it has, instead of these gray borders, it has like dark purple. I don't know why seeing it framed like that almost made it feel softer to me. Less intimidating, I guess. I don't know why. So I'm kind of considering that I might actually get that copy. I don't know. No, stop. I gotta stop. I need to work with this, and then if I'm like, I really do need the purple borders instead. I don't know. I don't even know why I'm like having this conversation with myself right now, but damn, look at that card. All right. Anyway, I'm kind of scared of this deck. Damn it. But I have felt like it's kind of been calling to me lately, so I'll give it a try, and if it's still too scary, I will put it back away for a while. Put this guy back. So the last deck that I'm going to be using is the Weaver's Oracle. It's a journey cards and a travel guide by Carolyn Hillier. This deck was gifted to me by one of my very best friends. I had been kind of vaguely looking at this deck for a couple years. I literally cried when I opened this deck. Like, I don't know what it is. If you're not familiar with this deck, it's absolutely magnificent. I don't want to like do a full review of this, but I do want people to kind of, if you watch this video, I want you to kind of have an idea what I'm even talking about. So, this is independent. It's published by very, very small publishing sort of house. I don't know exactly. So, I've actually been working with this for a few months. This is not the kind of deck that I would ever in a million years sit down and like draw 5 cards from. This is the kind of card or deck that I draw 1 card from. I've been doing it on the new moons of the last few months, and I sit with it that entire time. The artwork is just so fucking raw. It's very, I don't know how to explain it. I don't even know if other people feel this way about this deck. I feel like they must. Like, there's no way people don't look at this and just feel this connection. looking at this deck, there's a still from Avatar: The Last Airbender, where Aang turns and like looks behind him, and there's just all the other avatars in a line looking at him, like sort of from the mist or something. All the generations, the people who have stood in his shoes, looking at him, waiting for him to make his decision. That's what this deck feels like to me, if that makes any sense. They're not really specific to a single culture, and these aren't actually deities from any culture. The way that the guidebook is, it actually has like a story, not necessarily, well, maybe like a myth about each of these women, and the stories feel like this artwork. It's absolutely perfect. I should have thought more about how I was going to explain this deck, because I'm looking at it and I'm forgetting what I'm even saying. I want to pull some more cards from this a little more often, I think, than once a new moon. That's just... It feels too long, but also I don't feel like I want to rush the stories and the ways that I am applying this. I feel like it's been a long time for me since a deck has really felt to me like it's saying something different and strange and personal enough that I am willing to sit with what it has said for weeks at a time. When I was newer to tarot, everything felt so large, incomprehensible, but in a good way. But I don't know if it's me, if it's learning more about it, if I've just been disconnecting, but this deck has brought me back to that ability to really just absorb everything about what the cards are saying. So, oh shit. I don't want to be fucking annoying, but I am, so, I'm just gonna read you the little story of, I don't even know what that word is, the wolf, Udagon? Of the berry pouch, out of the guidebook. I'm not gonna get into all of it, it's complex, it's a lot, alright, but, I do want to read this, because I want people to really just know how special this deck is. Alright, I'm looking for 29 here. Alright, the wolf. She cradles the mending drum. Alright. So, we'll look at our story here. She walked along the forest line where the great north swept to the ground. She wore her wolfskin trousers with the fur turned inside and the weather-hardened leather facing out. She had followed that particular wolf for half a moon until she had last caught up to find it sick and dying in the snow. It was not the wolf she had been looking for. So long had she been traveling through that winter, through so much undefined darkness, through so many brief days rubbed raw by the ebb and flow of ice. I fear I lost you long ago. She spoke across the brittle land. Too many trees have grown to hide you from my eyes. The hunt seemed difficult and endless. She had already searched in the past, now she was seeking through her dreams of the future. Still, the pouch hanging from her belt was empty and carried no more than lonely air, and that air remained silent. She walked onto the icy lake where the snow was piled up high in frozen waves. She thought she heard something. Why do I keep losing my place? Trying to read it in the fucking phone. She thought she heard something behind her in the pines, but the wind had turned the sound to glass before she could catch it in her ears. I will sing you out from the dark forgotten past, she said, and I will sing you a future road. But still, her empty berry pouch needed to be filled. She stared again through tight eyes toward the forest and over the fields of snow. Then, with despair laid heavy on her shoulders, turned back once more to the cooling hearth of her small tent. Smoke from scented pine boughs drifted through gaps in the darkened hides that were wrapped over birch poles to form her home. She stopped. Something was changed about the place. The fire was lit. A pair of fur boots had been laid outside the tent. Now she was running, panting, skidding on the ice, crying out as she flung herself beneath the door skin, scattering snow onto the hides. There, beside the hearthstone, sat the wolf, the one she had been seeking during all those long months. The wolf was wearing the faces of this woman's many grandmothers, who now turned to welcome her to the fire. A fine dappled skin drum sat next to the hearth. "How did I forget to look for you, so close to home?" she said to the wolf. "How did I not know that you would be here waiting for me?" The wolf smiled. In her lap was laid the blanket of the past, while her gray wolf hands tenderly caressed the sleeping future. The woman kneeled beside the wolf and watched her untie a leather bag. She opened her own pouch. The wolf leaned over and shook in sweet berries, red and vibrant with energy, until the pouch was filled right to the brim. Then the wolf reached up to pick up the mending drum that lay by the fire and started to beat on its bright skin. I wish I had read that better because it deserved it. So, just the idea of being out and searching and spending time trying to find something that you overlooked was already sitting at your hearth the whole time. That I've been sitting with that since the last new moon, which I don't even remember when that was. But that the stories are all like this, and it's the kind of thing that you can just really go so far into. You know, this is definitely a winter sort of deck for me, I think. I mean, certainly could be used anytime, but I tend to be a little more looking outward, a little more external in my practice in the warmer months. And winter really is just the restful time of looking inside. And this deck, I feel like, helps me personally ask the right questions of myself. So that was a super weird rant and gush about this deck. The Weathered Woman of the Skin Mask. Oh my fucking god. But like, I don't know, man. This deck is just so much to me. Anyway, this is the last deck I'm going to be working with this month. These are my October decks, my Samhain shit. Sorry. Some of my decks I don't mind just flinging to the side, not put away, but this one requires much more reverence than that, so she must be put away fully. Alright. Now we're to the books. I got a couple witchcrafty kind of books that I plan on reading and or working with during the month of October. The first thing I grabbed was this Moon Magic Journal by Aurora Kane. This is not a particularly new book. It's not like new out, I don't think. I think it's actually been out a couple years. I'm aware that there is a book that like goes with this too. Where's like the publishing information on this? To see what year. Oh, 2021. Okay. I don't know why I was thinking that it was older than that. I feel like I had seen this cover before. Maybe it was the other, like, book that goes with it. I don't have it. Honestly, I don't plan on getting it. But sometimes my practice lately, especially, it has been feeling a little bit untethered. And I'm really trying to get back to connecting with things. You know, the cycles of the seasons. Whereas outwardly, I'm doing a lot of that stuff. I feel like inwardly, I've been slacking. To be completely honest, I hate continuing to bring this up, but the brain fog and the bullshit from having had COVID twice, I can't remember shit. I don't know what I'm talking about. I can't understand things. I can't organize things in my head the way that I used to. And I feel like I've sort of just let things get away from me. Because I've been like, well, I can't do that anymore because of this or some shit. I don't know, man. But my own personal fucking issues aside, Moon Magic Journal. So in here we have the moon phases, and then like here's waxing crescent, right? And we have little journaling prompts, right? What healing message would you like to extend to the universe? Okay, I don't really like that one. What colors are you drawn to during this moon cycle? What can they help you achieve? What does the waxing crescent moon inspire in you? So these are just ways to kind of bring me back to following the moon, which is something that I've never done too closely, but I certainly used to do more than I have the last few years. I will admit that I'm kind of confused on this book because, like, am I supposed to do this whole thing in one moon cycle? Because, like, it goes from the new moon all the way to, like, the waning crescent or whatever, like, the last... Yeah, the waning crescent or balsamic moon. So am I supposed to fill all of this out in one, like, moon cycle? Because I'm not probably going to do that. Also, I don't like writing in things that I feel like look nice, so, like, I'm not about to fucking actually write in this, so I'm probably just gonna get a different journal, and just, you know, maybe copy down the questions that I want to do and work with it that way. I don't know. There's no instructions on how I'm, like, actually supposed to do this, and I don't fucking know, so if anyone's working with this, or, you know, has any recommendations for, what the fuck I'm actually supposed to be doing with this, you can throw that out there. The other book that I found, I just found this at, I was just moseying through Barnes & Noble, and I found this Witch Wisdom for Magical Aging, Finding Your Power Through the Changing Seasons by Kate Johnson. This, it might seem weird, I'm not even 35 yet. My youngest son is 8. I mean, I don't know. Obviously I'm a mother, right? And my last video on this channel was literally me and my 10-year-old and just the most fucking chaotic interview with her about what she likes about the decks that she has and shit. Like, it was fucking wild, right? But some part of me, like, maybe I'm just ready to be the crone. Like, I know that there's a lot of, society puts a lot on, maiden, youth, fucking don't look old kind of shit. I can't wait to be old. I'm excited to fucking be old. I want this. All right. I want to be a crone. I want to just know shit, right? Sorry. So this book just looks interesting to me. It seems to be broken down into seasons. Witch wisdom from the cave in winter. Spring is the winged witch wisdom from the treehouse. Got the merwitch wisdom from the seaside bonfire in summer. And kitchen witch wisdom from the river cottage for autumn. Okay, I don't know how to say this without being an asshole, so I'm just going to say it. For the last couple years, I have gone through... I wish I had grabbed this. It's called Seasons of... Moon and Flame, I think. It's by Danielle Dulski, and it's one of those crone wisdom-y kind of books, and it's sort of like you're traveling through, like, seasonal landscapes to meet different crones who teach you lessons, sort of. The first time I went through the book, I'm just one of those people that just picks and chooses what I want to do. I don't like to do every single thing in a book. But there's parts for each moon phase where, like, the crone tells you a story that kind of goes with some journaling prompts and things. I like them. They felt deep. They felt, you know, magical. But then going through them the second year, again, because, you know, it's just kind of a rolling thing. You just start back over. The writing style specifically start fucking grating on my nerves. I don't want to be like, it was fucking pretentious, but it's fucking pretentious. Not just that, but the twixt and tween kind of shit I think I read in there fucking twice a chapter. That shit is actually, where at first I kind of thought it was cool, it's fucking irritating. Sorry. There are things I like about that book, but man, the fucking writing style. And the thing I think that really the nail in that coffin was, I am signed up for Danielle Dulsky's like email newsletters, and there have been like classes for learning to write like that, and that sometimes my last straw is a weird thing, and to me it's that. To me it was that. It was the writing style already fucking irritated me. It was already setting me off. And then getting emails like, why don't you learn to write like this? No thanks. So I feel like that sounded shittier than I really meant it. You know, no, I'm not apologizing for that. The writing style fucking irritated me. Fuck. There's another book by the same author that I could not even finish, because of it. Fuck. Holy Wisdom for the Wild Woman or something. I don't know. Fuck, man. I'm gonna have to look it up or something. Whatever. Fuck it. Point is, I'm not even talking about those. Sorry. What I am talking about is this. This almost has a similar, feel and setup as I'm looking at it, without the writing that pisses me off. So, I'm excited to get started on this. This actually starts in winter, so it might be kind of a weird thing to start looking at in October, but considering this is the kind of book that I would be working through for an entire year, I would like to kind of pre-read it so I know what I'm really getting into. So that was a long thing talking about this book. So if you've read this, if you know about this book, let me know about that too. All right, so I don't know. I might lose some people here, but that's okay. Sorry, I had to get a drink real quick. For me, fiction, I like to mix my tarot practice with themes a lot of times that I find in fiction. So this is a book that I picked up, The Obsidian Tower by Melissa Caruso. She I think has a duology out that I have not read. Man, I just picked the shit up. Well, I'm really being completely blunt, about reading fiction, especially fantasy. I've read a lot of shit, alright, and fantasies really, I don't care if anyone has any sort of, I'm not here for your fucking literary criticisms. I don't give a shit, alright? I like reading fantasy. Also, it's been a couple years since I have read a fantasy book written by a man, and that is on purpose. I read a book called Mordu by Alex. Oh shit, it started with an M. I don't remember. The point is, that book, despite a lot of very interesting things in it, was a quick reminder why I had taken a break from reading fantasy books, especially written by men. So anyway, we're back to reading fantasy books by women. This is Melissa Caruso. Gonna be reading this one. Also, The Path of Thorns. This is by A.J. Slater, I don't know exactly. All the Murmuring Bones or something was another book that she wrote. God damn, I did not prepare for this, like I should have. But I really enjoyed, her other book. So I'm ready for this one. I'm a fan of fairy tale retellings, as long as they just really get into being dark and terrible. I'm here for the shit. So yeah. Also, I wouldn't say I'm a slow reader. I mean, if I sit down and read, I can read quick. The thing is, my life has a lot of shit going on a lot, and I don't put any pressure on myself to, like, get books done. I'm not at all one of those people that'll be like, oh, I read this many books this month. Like, I read fucking 5 chapters this month, and that's fine. But I do plan on starting both of these. I enjoy bullshit like assigning tarot cards to fictional characters, and sort of pulling themes out of fiction, and shoving tarot cards up their asses. Like, I don't know, man. It's My husband says that I'm like a fucking walking English class, and I'm sorry, but maybe it's true. Yeah, I just finished reading, you know what, shit, it's right here. While I'm fucking rambling, I might as well just go out, because, you know what, fuck it. Book I just finished reading has fucking water damage on it, because my daughter Juno literally spills her drink every day of her fucking life, and it got on this, but, For the Throne by Hannah Witten. This is actually the second, book in a duology. The other one is, For the Wolf. I was not prepared for this one. The first book was this author's first. Okay, that didn't make any sense. For the Wolf was this author's first book. It's like a paranormal romance shit. It was a lot more romancy, the first one, than this second one. This one just really... I like the aesthetics of the setting of the last one. I was not ready for the complexity of the second one, the sort of shit that fucking went on with belief in self, with personal agency, with autonomy, the amount of as above, so below kind of shit, and the balancing. Like, I don't know. This shit, like... I don't want to say it blew me away, necessarily. Still, more romance than I prefer, alright? I'm not a romancy kind of person. I don't give a fuck about, like, people's love stories. So I was not ready for actually the real amount of, like, just the depth in this, because I feel like, for the most part, books that tend to focus more on romance, in my experience... don't tend to really get into themes like that. Anyway, that was also a weird ramble. I'm drinking an energy drink right now, so I guess it's just coming out as me just fucking going about this shit. So, yeah, basically to say that, I will probably be, sort of building my tarot stuff and kind of the way that I'm working with it this month on a lot of the things that I found in this book. Do I recommend this book? I do. I certainly recommend this one more than the first one, but you can't, like, just read the second one and not the first one, so yeah. Expect weird fuckery, and strange musings probably across my various platforms about some of the shit that I found in this book. If you read this book, if you read tarot, you know, let me know, because I have, like, the amount of thoughts I have about sticking tarot in this shit is wild. I'm not even gonna fucking start, you know? I'm trying to just keep a handle on it, but, okay. That was a lot of stuff for me to say. That's what I'm gonna be working with in October. So thanks for watching. Bye.